Thank you, Yuba County, for participating in the candidates forum tonight. I'm Carolynn Kearby, Chair of the Government Affairs. Moving forward, I would like to shift our focus to our next group of candidates that are running for a position with Yuba Water Agency. And I would like to invite Nikki Rogers up to explain or brief us on the rules and procedures for the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolynn. Okay, we will now begin with Yuba County Water Agency incumbent Charlie Mathews, Randy Fletcher, and Dawn Schrader. Each candidate will have 90 seconds for an opening statement. Then there'll be a series of questions provided by the Appeal Democrat. If you have a question that you would like considered, please raise your hand. Trusty in the back in the yellow shirt can get you a comment card so you can fill those out. If you are watching via live stream, please put your questions in the comments area of the platform. We do ask that you keep your questions brief, and please know questions do have to be addressed to all candidates in order to be considered. Each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question. Rebuttals will be allowed if there is a reference to a particular opposing candidate in another candidate's answer. Those rebuttals will be allowed for up to 30 seconds. At the end of each question, each candidate will have up to 2 minutes for a closing statement. No rebuttals will be allowed during those closing statements. Candidates, please take a peek at our timekeeper, Jacki Lee. She has 3 signs, one that says 30 seconds, one that says 15 seconds, and one that says time's up. We do ask that you please be respectful of time and stay within your time limit. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our moderators, Robert Summa and Janell Willis.
Hello to those just joining us just now. This is the Yuba Water Agency North Director position that our candidates are vying for. So we'll start with opening statements, and we'll go ahead and start with you, Don Schrader.
Thank you. I've lived in Yuba-Sutter County since 1955. I taught at Yuba College for 33 years. I was elected to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors and the Water Agency in March of 1997. I took office on January 6, 1998, 8 days after the levee broke in my district. So when you take the oath, or you take this oath without reservations, it was hard to say yes. But we got through the levee, we got through the flood, we recovered from the flood, we got the levees, 200-year levee of protection. I worked with the agency exclusively. If you look on the back table, there's a large photograph that I'm very proud of that was presented to me by the agency of projects that I either worked on individually or worked on as a board member. So I've got a lot of experience with the agency. I've got a lot of experience with the county. Like I said, I worked at Yuba College for 33 years. I owned a scale business for 20 years. So I've had a business and had involvement with this county for many, many years. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Mr. Randy Fletcher.
Thank you to the Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce and to the Appeal Democrat for hosting tonight. I'm Randy Fletcher. My experience as a police officer, small business owner, county supervisor, Yuba Water Agency Director have prepared me to lead and be effective from day one at the Yuba Water Agency. As your county supervisor, I focused on building local, regional, state, and federal relationships that help us make huge strides and come out of each crisis that we've had stronger. After 20 years in law enforcement, I started Fletcher & Associates Insurance, which is now Farm West Insurance Services, where I serve as CEO. My wife, Kathy, and I have called Yuba County home for over 40 years. If elected, I will use my insurance expertise to focus on reducing flood and fire insurance costs and increasing coverage options. Through decades of good planning, the Yuba Water Agency is thriving for the people of Marysville and Yuba County. I work every day to keep that momentum going. I'm Randy Fletcher. I'd be honored to serve as your next Yuba Water Agency Director.
Thank you, Randy. Mr. Charlie Mathews.
Good evening. I'm Charlie Mathews, your current North Director for the Yuba Water Agency. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and the Appeal Democrat for hosting this important event. As we all know, water issues in California and Yuba County are complicated. They are also crucial to the economic success of our region. I've been a farmer for over 50 years, which made understanding water issues extremely important. I've been involved with local and state water issues for the same 50 plus years. We as Yuba County residents are one of the few California counties who actually own our dam, a dam that generates significant revenue from the sale of water and power. At the Water Agency, we are working on 3 major projects for Yuba County residents. When I was elected 7 years ago, I made it my goal to reduce our residents' PG&E bill with the revenue from water and power sales. We've worked long and hard on this and are grateful to soon announce a program that will accomplish this. 2, I am working on a way to get better quality drinking water into Marysville, Linden, and Olivers, while at the same time lowering our monthly water rates. Restoring Ellis Lake is another major project I've taken on. We've tried for many ways to fix it, but actually pumping water into the lake is our best, most viable long-term solution, just like we have done in the past.
Time is up.
What?
Time is up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and start with our first question, and we'll start with you, Charlie. Each of you has had experience as a member of the Yuba Water Agency already. So why should voters change horses midstream, or in Charlie's case, not change horses in midstream? So Charlie, why should voters continue to elect you and keep you in office in this position?
We've had major issues with water, and primarily in Sacramento. When we've had the different hearings, I've testified in almost all of them. I've been deeply involved. Okay, I can't see.
Oh, I'm sorry, 30 seconds.
Oh. We have, I have been very involved in them, and I think that the success I've had would demonstrate that for the people.
Thank you, Mr. Mathews. Randy, why should voters vote you in and vote Charlie out?
So, Jacki, do you have that sign that says "Take all the time you need"? Probably not. You know, there were a lot of projects over the last 8 years while I was on the water agency through the supervisory position, and both of those work hand in hand. It takes time to get things accomplished. There are still many things sitting out there that need to be accomplished, such as the biomass plant, the safety of the community in insurance, fire prevention, the watershed. All of those are unique to the foothills, and they need someone to really focus on those and get it done. So with that in mind, those are some of the primaries. Obviously, working closely with Marysville and having to do with Ellis Lake, a really important issue. So these are the things that I will be focused on as the North representative.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Same question for you, Don.
Thank you. I chaired the Water Agency Board for the last 5 years I was on the board. I was the only board member that participated in the Yuba River Accord. That was the first long-term water transfer program in the state of California. Had the agency have not done that, we would have lost our water rights to the state of California. So I'm very familiar with that process. I was in negotiations during that entire time, and it's coming up for renewal next year, and I hope to be able to help the agency back through it again. So thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, gentlemen. Randy, this will be to you. What are the 3 biggest challenges for the Yuba Water Agency, and what do you bring to the table to address them, and what's that plan?
So sorry. Got to turn me on. Right? So one of the big issues headed our way is water from the state of California would like to have all the water they can get throughout California. I see that the water agency has that source of water that we need to pay really close attention. The water rights from our members are critical to our future, and we've got to focus on that particular item. As I mentioned just briefly, the fire issues and a biomass plant, they're critical to the upper foothills. We need a greener and a green belt. We need to keep it safe. We need to focus on our insurance. We need a biomass plant. And those are the things that are right at the top of the list of things we're working on.
Thank you, Randy. Don?
Thank you. Like I said, I participated in the accord from the time it started until the time it ended. It was an attempt by the state of California to remove Yuba County's water rights. We negotiated with three different entities: the water buyers, Fish and Game, and the NGOs, and the water districts. We were able to get all three of those to come together in a group and complete the accord, which protected Yuba County water rights and the ability of Yuba County to use its rights and the farmers to keep their rights to farm the land that we have in the county. Otherwise, we could have lost the entire water right to the state of California.
Thank you, Don. Charlie?
The water rights in 1991, the state was going to suspend water rights for 1 year. They had a hearing that they had to move to the convention center because they thought 1,600 people with 1,500 being attorneys. I testified in that and helped work with the water bank, which on the second day, they gave us so many days to come up with a water bank so they wouldn't suspend water rights. With that, we negotiated at Yuba County and came up with the way of pumping groundwater and substituting it, and that saved the water rights whole question for the eternity. But it's still going to come.
Thank you, Charlie. All right, next question, we'll start with Don. During our last forum here, I asked the supervisor candidates about a possible regional power provider or municipal power provider spearheaded by Yuba Water Agency and the power that it currently generates. So, Don, and for the rest of you, should Yuba Water Agency support the development of a local 2 or 3 county municipal power provider with Yuba County as one of the partners?
Yeah, it's one of those projects that, based on the current law, since the state changed the law to almost prevent municipalities from taking over PG&E's assets, and the fact that PG&E is on the verge of bankruptcy, it would be nice if we could do it. I don't know how much it would cost or how long it would take, but if we could gain control of that power and not only sell it to the people, provide power to people in Yuba County, but also provide power to surrounding counties, it'd be wonderful. But that's going to be a long-term project.
Thank you, Don. Charlie?
When I ran 7 years ago, I said that we needed to reduce the power bills at PG&E. Since that time, we've hired consultants that have laid out what they call community aggregates. We have checked the laws. We have been working diligently on this. And as I say in my campaign thing, we're very close to being able to announce it. And I'm very proud that I was the one that pushed it.
Thank you, Charlie. Mr. Fletcher.
So when I was elected in 2015, one of the first things I did was looking into CCAs, Community Choice Aggregates. I had meetings in Sacramento looking at the feasibility of what it would look like in Yuba County. I brought that message back to the county itself, met with the CAO. We also had meetings with Butte County, Placer County, and it was a great opportunity, and it is an opportunity throughout the state of California to take a look at options within counties. You can join others or you can create your own. So what I asked the water agency to do, with the condition that the county actually would be involved, is let's find out the details, and that has been going on over the last few years. So that's what's in progress right now. I want to see the details, and if it's a benefit, that's where we need to go.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you. Charlie, this will go to you. What more can the water agency do to benefit Yuba County? And please be specific.
Can you repeat it one more?
What more can the Yuba Water Agency do to benefit Yuba County? And please be specific.
They've done many things. First off, we have an agency act, and the agency act was primary for flood control and water development. With that mandate, we've been able to expand it to say that drainage, because of the Sustainability Act, is also part of our mission. We've been able to use that to help drainage like in Linda and Oliver's. We've used it as safety to help make the roads safer in an emergency. And I've been a leader in pushing that, and the other directors, especially Seth, has been a very big advocate, and I would like to compliment him at the same time.
Thank you. Randy?
So let's make one thing really clear, that there is no director or supervisor that has all power. You must work as a team. You must work together to come up with solutions. What needs to be done in Yuba County comes as teamwork, as a combination between the board and staff. You work together to solve problems and issues. And there are issues, be it flood control, which obviously even our predecessors worked on in the levees. They did a great job. We need to move forward in that same aspect. We're looking at the power. We're looking at our fire, our forest. There are just a multitude of issues that need to be worked on within Yuba County. Please call me if you have specific questions, and because there's a lot of them. And Jacki lost the take all the time you want card, so I'll stop there.
Thank you, Randy. Don?
Since the flood in 1997, the water agency has spent millions of dollars on flood protection in the South County. They were the ones that spearheaded the 200-year level of protection for Plumas Lake and the South County. Unfortunately, that job's not done. During my 12 years on the board, I continue to talk about the flood protection in District 10. District 10 has absolutely zero flood protection. The levees were decertified by the Corps of Engineers, so we have no levee protection. Hallwood has no levee protection. So the job's not done. There are a lot of things that the agency can do, but we need to complete flood protection, and we need to protect our water rights, and we need to provide funding for all of the things that possible to provide in the county. Drainage is one of them.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. Next question, we will start with you, Randy Fletcher. North Yuba Water District has received a lot of Yuba Water Agency support after the ouster of its former general manager and board, which were accused of gross mismanagement and unethical practices. Will you continue to support surrounding water districts like North Yuba? And if so, please explain why the support is important, and if not, please explain why.
Oh, that board and that community is critical to our safety in the upper foothills, which is also attached to our watershed. I am clearly and have been clearly supportive to an elected body that says we're going to do the best we can. What you will find are there differences of opinions of how do you get that accomplished. I think the role of the water agency has been, and I've been clearly in the midst of that says how can we help you? Because our goals are the same, to make it safer in the upper foothills. I don't see any of that changing. We want green belts, we want all the water they can get, and we want to support that. And that will be my role to do that. I've done it for 8 years, and I will continue to do that.
Thank you, Randy. Don?
I started working with North Yuba Water District the second year I was in office when Mr. Parker was the director up there, and I worked with him continuously since then. North Yuba is extremely critical to the foothills. They provide drinking water and they provide surface water to a large area. They need to expand their services. One of the problems that that organization has had is getting the communities together to agree on what's supposed to be done and when it's supposed to be done. I will support North Yuba Water District any way we can, as long as the agency, board, and director are together and working together. And I think the agency can do a lot for North Yuba, and has done a lot for North Yuba.
Thank you, Don. Charlie Mathews.
I think what happened before the new board at the North Yuba Water District is a travesty. And it's a travesty because the people didn't understand what was happening. When the new board came in, the existing manager had the old board fire him and give him a $600,000 bonus for firing him. The new board, and I was very helpful, I hope, in convincing the people up there to have a new board. And I'm very proud of the fact that the new board has done an unbelievably great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don, we're going to start with you. What is your stance on water transfers?
That's what the accord was all about, is allowing Yuba County to take our surplus water and transfer it to other areas. There's another entity in that allows the water organization to pump water, transfer water that they were normally going to use out of the river, and transfer it downstream. When we were negotiating the accord, one of the most difficult parts of the accord was negotiating with the water buyers. It was like being in a swimming pool full of sharks. The only good part about it is they were trying to eat each other and left us alone. But we finally got them to agree to allow the agency and allow the farmers to transfer their water, and I think that's a critical aspect of the Yuba Water Agency's support.
Thank you, Don. Charlie?
The accord was a means of supplying in a fixed way that we could transfer groundwater to the land and leave the water in the rivers to sell it south. It was the reason we were able to forestall the suspending of water rights. It's very crucial that we have an accord, but it's also crucial that we have an accord that is beneficial to us. Because as you realize, any water that the accord loses goes to the Delta, and the state and federal have a program already to take any free water that comes in.
Thank you, Charlie. Randy?
So I think we're all in agreement of the future of what needs to happen in that scenario. The endowment was created here recently from those districts. They have supported this community in the $1 million plus range. One of the things on the board we talked about years ago was when you have a commodity that's wanted by others, you better pay close attention to support them. And I think that's how it all came together, to be supportive to other communities. If you don't share what you have, they may come take what you have. So it's a great product that helps all of us.
Thank you, Randy. All right, the next question will be for Charlie Mathews. Charlie, in your opening statement, you mentioned Ellis Lake. Obviously, Marysville is putting a lot of focus towards Ellis Lake. They've been getting help from Yuba Water Agency. Will you continue to help Marysville improve Ellis Lake, both with its circulation and water quality, and any other issues should you be reelected?
When I ran 7 years ago, I approached the city of Marysville that my brother and myself would start their existing pump for fresh water back into Ellis Lake. The councilman who made the motion couldn't get a second to let us do that. I have fought hard and long, and the lake is now much better than it was. They have their federal permits so we can use the proper chemicals to kill the weeds, and we've taken the carp out that made the mud. So it's this summer, I think you'll see a much more pristine lake than you've seen in the last 30 years.
Thank you, Charlie. Don?
It's absolutely critical to the health of Marysville and the health of Yuba County to make Ellis Lake what it should be. I mean, it's one of the things about Ellis Lake is with the Highway 70 project just being completed, people get to spend hours looking at it stuck in traffic on B Street. So we need to get rid of the weeds. We need to get the water quality up. If it's putting a pump in the river, let's put a pump in the river, but we have to solve the water problem. And I think the agency's working closely with the city to solve that problem.
Thank you, Don. Randy?
Over the last 10 years, I've been on multiple committees with city members looking at Ellis Lake. Ellis Lake is what a huge opportunity for Marysville. How many cities in the state of California have an Ellis Lake downtown that's practical, functional, for the benefit of not only our local community, but for tourism and to bring other people here? When we hired our first marketing person, Dee Cordell, I had an opportunity to interview with her, and I said, Dee, let me tell you, put some energy into Ellis Lake. We need to focus on that. Not everyone drives up to Bullard's Bar, but we have millions of people that drive by Ellis Lake. So let's make it the pride of Marysville. And I think she's worked on that over the years. Been some obstacles, but thank you.
Thank you, Randy. We're going to start with you this time. Is there any decision by the board, the water board, that you believe should have been done differently? And if so, please explain in detail.
You know, I don't know that there is a whole lot that I can say negative about the board or staff. What we've built, and I've been instrumental in working on policies, procedures, and building relationships. It is critical that board members go out into the public, cross-pollinate with other water agencies, state, local, federal. I can tell you some of my board members are here. We've traveled across this country to Washington, D.C. to work on behalf of our community. And all of these things come back to roost. When you work as a team, things pay off. And I think that's the strongest effort we make moving forward.
Thank you. Don?
When I first got on the board, Don Wilson was our administrator. He was there for about 3 or 4 years after I took office. Then Kurt Akins took over until Willie took over. So we've had a tremendous leadership within the agency, and I think the leadership and the staff at the agency is bar none one of the best in the world. We have people up at the powerhouse that are able to maintain that powerhouse, be able to maintain Colgate. So the board has always functioned well, and it's up to the board to maintain that. So I would work very hard with the agency to maintain the viability that we currently have. And I think the staff is more than capable of doing that.
Thank you, Don. Charlie?
I've had the opportunity to serve under all of the managers of the water agency since its inception. The first being Don Frost, then Mr. Hazeltine, and then Wilson, Kurt Akins, and our president, Willie. And Willie is by far the best. Not that the others were bad, but Willie is unbelievable. We need to act as a board and act with Willie so that he has our confidence and he won't be stolen by some other entity.
Thank you, Charlie. All right, we'll have time for one more question before closing statements. Yuba Water Agency is probably considered one of the better run government agencies that we have in the region. Generates a lot of money through power and water sales. And a common question I often hear is, why isn't that money being reinvested here, or where is that money going? So with the amount of money that Yuba Water is able to generate, where should that money go? Don?
Unfortunately, the water agency is restrained by the Agency Act. Like Charlie said, we're allowed to do it with do water, do flood control, drainage, recreation, Those are the things that the Agency Act allows us to do. Most of the money right now, $350 million of it's going to go into a low-level outlet at Bullard's Bar, so we can release water at Bullard's Bar before it's going over the top. That's critical. There's no dam in the state of California that was built for flood control. They're all built for water storage. So you have to wait for the water to go over the top of the spillway, like Orville, and that's where a lot of the money is going to go in the future. But the agency has to be careful spending its money and making sure it's spent wisely, or the state will take it away from us.
Okay, we jumped, and that's good. Gosh, give me that question again, please.
Yuba Water makes a lot of money. Where should that money go?
As Don just indicated, the Agency Act mandates where you can actually put money. And within that, it is restrained. I would encourage everyone here, if you really want to see what our mandates are, and I happen to have it with me. I'll be glad to read it to you. I need more than 30 seconds. But it really defines, here's what you can do with it. So within those parameters, we can spend money. But even more critical to that is, how do we leverage that money? As I heard earlier with the supervisors, there are grants from the state of California and federal. If we can take a small amount from the agency and leverage it against a grant, we can turn $10 million into $100 million. That is smart work.
Randy, Charlie?
I'm the chairman of the audit committee. We just put out our audit, and before we put it out, we spent a lot of time on trying to justify why we had so much cash on hand. We have that weaved into it. We use the example of Oroville when they had something catastrophic that they needed the funds. Our problem is we have the reason for it, but with Sacramento being short, we have a very big obligation to make sure that we operate it properly and spend it properly. But just hoarding it is not the right answer.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, so now we'll move to closing statements. Don Schrader, you'll be first.
I would love to serve again on the board. I want to help the agency get through the accord. Two of the things that we're facing in the accord this year, this time that we didn't face last year, is global warming and the drought. Hopefully that won't rear its ugly head, but I would put nothing past the State Water Resources Board to try to use that as leverage to take away more of Yuba County water rights. So I would work diligently trying to protect those water rights and work with Willie and the lawyers and the people who negotiate the accord so we could get that tied up for another 25 years.
Thank you, Don. Randy?
You have heard three candidates tonight that all have knowledge of water and Yuba County. What sets me apart and why should you vote for me? Trust and teamwork. For 5 of the 8 years that I served on the Yuba Water Agency Board, I was voted either chair or vice chair. That is a reflection of the trust my fellow board members had in me. I'm honored to be endorsed by Senator Jim Nielsen, the Yuba-Sutter Farm Bureau, many agricultural leaders like Wayne Bishop and Charlie Mathews Jr. I'm the only candidate who lives in the foothills. It is essential that the Water Agency Board have representation from across Yuba County. The foothills is the largest area in the county and faces massive issues like forest fire and water shortage. It is essential that your representatives have the energy and the drive to build relationships with the regional, state, and federal agencies. Finally, it is also essential that our representatives bring positive attitudes. This is not about who you can sue or who you can blame. It is about finding ways to succeed within challenges you are given. One of my favorite quotes, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." I'm Randy Fletcher, and I would be honored to serve as your next Yuba Water Agency Director.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. Charlie Mathews.
I want to commend all the people in the audience tonight for being here. It's because of your participation that makes our community stronger by electing leaders with the knowledge and experience to not only get things done, but improve the quality of life of all of our residents. In the last 7 years, the Yuba Water Agency accomplished many important infrastructure projects: forest fire prevention, drainage, restoration for new curbs and gutters, sewer line construction between between Olivehurst and Wheatland, coring the levees to increase the protection for our cities, along with community safety program grants and many other community improvements. I've been a leader on all of these initiatives. I am committed to serving the residents of Yuba County and helping to bring success to our community. I am a father, grandfather, and I have lived and worked in this community my entire life. I am dedicated and committed to bringing success to our community and our residents. We want to see Yuba County continue to grow and succeed and become one of the best counties and communities in the state. We will continue to work hard to find ways to make this happen. I want to thank the voters and supporters for electing me to the last 2 terms, and again humbly ask for your support and your vote so that I may continue to work for you and bring success to our county. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen. We want to say thank you for participating in this candidate forum tonight, and we appreciate you being here. And we will take a break now as we set up for the next district.